Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Isabel and this is my library. In today's video, I bring you an overview of my latest collection of craft books. If you've been with me for a little bit, you know that I absolutely love sticker books, crafting materials, and stationery, and I have discovered, guys, a new fascination. I have become obsessed with these craft books that include not just stickers, not just cardstock, but so many other things. And in some of my latest vlogs, if you have watched those, you've seen me out in the wild trying to find as many of them as I possibly can. Today, I'm going to go through my collection with you and I'm going to show you all of the ones that I've acquired. I'm going to do some flip throughs and just show you how beautiful these books are. At the moment, as of the filming of this video, I currently have 5 as a part of this collection, and I will be flipping you through these different books so that you can see which ones you like in case you are interested in maybe going out to shop for one, or if you want to order one but you haven't really seen what they are like. I'm going to start with this Paper Love Enchanted Kingdom because this is the first one I ever got. This is the first one that I saw and I fell in love with, and I didn't know if there were more of them or not, and there are. There are so many of them. I'm excited to get started. So if you see here, the books that I have pretty much are either the Paper Love Enchanted something or Paper Love Vintage Florals, or but it's Paper Love. And then I also have the Paper collection. So those are the two main ones. I know that there are a couple other companies putting forth these books, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see them and find out if I'm going to love them. But I know that these two are definitely optimal quality, wonderful sources for any scrapbooker, or if you're into reading, journaling, or bullet journaling, or whatever. If you are a person who's crafty, there will be something here for you. So this one is a little bit smaller. These are thinner. The Paper Love ones are anywhere from 120 to 160 pages. So they do have a little bit less pages than some of the paper ones, and they have tear out pages that are great for writing, crafting, and sharing. And then it says here it includes stationery, gift wrap, stickers, posters, and so much more. And that is exactly accurate. That is exactly what is included in here. So if you see here, it's wonderful quality. The paper is thick paper. We do have this perforation here on each of the pages that allows you to tear off easily. And this is the one that I've mostly used so far. I have not gotten a chance to bring out the new ones and use them in my reading journal, but I will. So stay tuned for me using some of those. But if you see here, I want to show you some of the variety. Since this is the first one I'm going through, I'll walk you through the different types of materials and things that they have in here. For the others, I'll do more of a casual flip through. So we have, and this is my favorite part, right? Multiple uses for things. So even though this is the introduction to the book, you can still use this back part as this beautiful flowery kind of paper. You can tear off a piece and use it in a corner of your reading journal, or you can use it to wrap up an entire page, completely up to you. This could be used for letter writing. It could be used in your reading journal. And I love how they connect in theme, and they're all working with each other, but they're different enough for you to have different projects without things looking very similar. So these are pretty much either writing pages. They're not cardstock. These are very thick paper. So these in particular are not made out of cardstock. These are just regular sheets. And I do love that they give you multiple of, like, for example, of the lined one, they give you multiple, but they all have different designs. I've already used one of these in my 2026 setup for my reading journal. And so I'll just keep walking you through till we get to something new. So if you see here, this is an envelope. So if you want to make your own envelope, it does have all the perforations, and it does have everything there that you can cut out. And it's this beautiful envelope that you can use. However, it gives you two sides of what you want that envelope to look like, or you can also just use sections of this as regular paper in your journal or with your crafting. So you don't have to necessarily use them as envelopes if you did not want to, which is what I like, the variety and the flexibility that it has. So this Enchanted Kingdom so far we've seen has a very dark, spooky, kind of mysterious look to it, which of course I love. And again, we see a lot of these same kind of designs repeated, but in different forms. We've seen this already as a scrapbook sheet. Now we see it as an envelope. We also saw it as something to write on with aligned pages. So right after that, which pretty much if you're a letter writer, you have enough here to write quite a few letters and make a few envelopes. We have these seal-like stickers. So these are stickers. This is sticker paper. And these are all seals that you can use as seals or just as round stickers if you would like. And I also love that we're using that same kind of artwork that we saw in the pages before. So then we move on to very thick cardstock because these are pretty much postcards and they're absolutely lovely, guys. And let's say you want this one, you can just perforate your page, and the back of this book does have this beautiful envelope that allows you to put in some of your extra stuff in there. I already have some extra things that I've thrown in here from my crafting in my reading journal. So for example, this was left over from, I took the right side of this as a little card to use in my reading journal, and I just threw this extra one back here so you won't lose them. There's a place to put them. I really appreciate that. So if you're into writing postcards or sending postcards to friends, we have here these four, and I believe these are also postcards. Yes. So these other four postcards. And then we have these that are not postcards, although you could totally use them as a postcard. Just, you would fill in the addresses here without necessarily needing a spot for them. You could still use them if you wanted to. But mostly these are cards that you can kind of use in your notebook. As I showed you in my reading journal, I have been using them. So I really like them. And they are very thick, guys, like very, very thick. So they're very solid. So then we move on to more of this beautiful kind of paper. If you see here, we have some known artworks. And the versatility alone of these is wonderful. I love that we can cut them. Again, these would not be postcard or cardstock material. They'd just be like regular papers. But they're so beautiful and they can inspire like an entire spread design in your journals if you like to journal. Now here it does tell us that you can mix and match, and it says create a castle gallery wall with the following posters. So it says that you can kind of put them all together, right? Because these are like very, very thick. So you can put them together and create maybe like this poster gallery wall if you wanted to. So it even gives you recommendations of, hey, you can totally like frame this and it could be artwork in your room or, in your crafting room or wherever you wanted it to be. So I absolutely love that it gives you like the ability to use these to decorate your actual physical space. And so all of these are very, very thick. So now we get back to some of our papers. These are the thinner papers again. And by no means are they thin, guys. Like when I say thinner paper, I just mean it's not cardstock, but this is very, very thick paper, which is wonderful quality. So we have more of these. And I love that they give you different sizes for different things you might be interested in accomplishing. I think this is so beautiful. I love this color palette. I love these colors together. This alone, I really have plans for using this in my reading journal for next year. This is stunning as well. So then we get to these bookmarks, and these are just so lovely, guys. So you basically perforate them. I haven't done it yet, but I will. I will be doing this soon because I feel like these books are meant to be used, like I don't want to just leave them there and not go through them. Like if I see that I like this particular bookmark, I'm gonna go ahead and tear it out and start using it already. It's super easy to tear off. It has a little hole here. Let me show you. Let me pop it out. So you can actually put your own little ribbon on it. So I love that. Look how cool this is. So you can actually put a little ribbon on it. You can give them as gifts. How lovely is that? If you know, they're very, very good quality and they're shiny. So it almost feels like they have like a natural like shine to them. So they feel very, you know, like normal bookmarks you can buy at a store. So the quality is absolutely excellent and they would be wonderful to pair up with a little gift, a bookish gift that you get someone. They do have some coloring pages as well. So if in addition you want to cut this out, you want to color it, cut it out and put it in your journal or your scrapbook or whatever, you can totally do that. So it does have coloring pages. And then we have more of those here. And let's say you don't, then this is what I love again. Let's say you don't want to color this, you're not into coloring or you don't find a use for it. There's always that back page that you can use for everything else. So I know I'm probably not going to color this in or use this dragon for anything. I know I would totally want to use these toadstools and these owls as a decoration in my reading journal. So it gives you a lot that you can do, even if certain hobbies are not really your hobbies, but you know, you don't have to like coloring to be able to make use of that page. So here we have some stickers again. They kind of pair them up according to theme, and they're pretty good quality stickers. These are thinner stickers, but they're really good quality, and they have like this nice finish, which isn't totally glossy or totally matte. It's just like this right texture for stickers. If you don't want to use the stickers, you can still use this as something that you want to do. If you're not going to use the stickers, here we have another example of that. And now we have some solid color papers, and I love them. I looked at this the moment I saw this page, and I said to my husband, we totally need to paint a wall in our house this color. I was so inspired by that color. So we do have some that are just that pair well with this. So I love that you can tear this page off and then tear this and overlap this on this, and it would work very beautifully in your journal. So they do a really nice job of pairing similar colors together. See how this goes beautifully with this and or this. Stunning. The way that they've thought out, you know, how to set this up is brilliant in my opinion, and so many uses. Here we see this same pattern again with this blue and even this green. So this looks lovely here, but look at how this pops if we were to, you know, pair it up with this. And if you don't want to pair it up with this, you can always pair it up with this one. So it's the endless options that we are given. So now this feels very thick because we get to this new section. The only thing with these books that they are difficult to open up, but the perforations are not so easily like falling apart that you'll lose them. The items inside, they do pop a little bit if you open them too much, but the actual perforation of the pages, you're good. Like just because you open the book doesn't mean the pages will fall out. So this I haven't looked at yet, but if you see here, it is wrapping paper. So I'm dying to see what this looks like. So let's go in here and open it up. And I love, wow, it has those same colors. How beautiful is that? So it's more of that same kind of artwork, and it does give you like a pretty big sheet, and they're not super thin. Like it's good quality thickness for wrapping paper. This is stunning. So it gives you two different wrapping papers. I am obsessed with this. I think this looks so good. Wow. So you can use them as gifts. How beautiful is that if you wrapped up someone a gift, like a book, you bought them a book and you wrapped it up with this, and then you got them the matching bookmark and laid it on top as a decoration. I think that's so, so pretty. So if you're any kind of crafter, I think you could definitely benefit from one of these books. Then we have these like circular ones, which I find so interesting. I think you can use them in your reading journals. I wonder what people would use these for as well. You can always hole punch them and, you know, add a string to them, but I'm curious as to what people are using those. I think, oh, maybe tags. That's probably what it is, like a gift tag. So then you can put it with a wrapping paper, right? You wrap it up and then you use the tag. I think you can use them as gift tags. That's so pretty. And I love the creativity that you can bring into these multi-purpose books. I love these letters. I would use these like a lot in my reading journal. And it does give you quite a few alphabets in different fonts, which is very nice. Stunning. And so then here we get to, and these are a little harder to open up because of the thickness of what's behind. And I have to think of what I want to do if I want to remove, because these are just held together by like some kind of like glue dots. So I have to see if I want to remove these so that the book opens more, if I want to keep it like that. Those are just choices I'm going to have to make. But these are labels, guys, and these are beautiful. And again, for maybe your gift wraps. So little labels to and from. You can also use these in your reading journal. And here we have more wrapping paper. Let's take a look at this one. And of course, this isn't what I want to go through with you in more detail. Because of timing, I will just kind of quickly go over the other ones. So let's see which ones we have here. Stunning. How beautiful. And you know what I love, guys? That I'm a big fan of wrapping paper. I obviously, gift bags are great because they're easy, but I'm a big fan of wrapping paper. But I feel like wrapping paper is not very unique looking a lot of times, and it looks like a little basic. This totally elevates your gift wrapping skills, your gift wrapping itself, because it's just very, very nice patterns. And so here we have some loose washi tapes, but of like sticker paper material. We have more little tags here. These are stunning. More little tags, and these actually say to and from. So I love that. Then these are the postcards. I have that loose one in the back and the other one in my reading journal already. Now they give us some more envelopes, and they're still double-sided. So beautiful. So, so beautiful. See, and I already removed a page from here that I used in my reading journal, and you can barely see that anything was there. It doesn't really leave like a mess. They're easy to just perforate and keep using. We have a lot of envelopes here in the back. Love these. If you have pen pals and you write to people, you can definitely use those. And then we get to our back part. So I did tell you that I put this in here, but it also brought another wrapping paper. This one is thicker. This might be a poster. I think this is not a wrapping paper. This is mostly like a poster. This feels more like poster material. But again, if you don't want to use this, oh my gosh, and it's the same print that I'm super obsessed with. Again, if you don't want to use this as a poster because you don't have a wall that you want to frame this in or whatnot, understandable. You can still use this paper for everything. Rip this off, use it, cut this out, use it. So it still gives you many, many uses for all of these things. And of course, I love that I can use this as my little catch-all because it's toward the back. And there's that one, guys. So this was the Paper Love one, and you got to see a lot of the things that are included on here. So now I'm going to do a very quick flip through of the other Paper Loves that I have very quickly. And we can assume it's more of those same staples. This one does have 160 pages, so this one seems to be the same exact format as the other one, but this is vintage florals. And I fell in love with these floral ones. And I must admit, I normally like way darker aesthetics, right? But there was just something about these florals that drew me in. And I can totally see myself incorporating these in my different projects. And when I think vintage florals, like at first I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll like this because vintage floral doesn't catch my drift. This watercolor like image in the front doesn't really catch my drift. But then when I look at these patterns, I'm all over it. Like I love them. So sometimes you want to make sure that you can look through them. That's why I wanted to do this video to kind of show you what's included in here, because you never know. You never know if it's going to be something that appeals to you. Look how beautiful this is. I love it so, so much. And this follows that same format. So I'm not really going to go over what these different things are. I will when I get to the paper ones. I will definitely walk you through one of those to show you what comes in there. So here we have, again, these thicker paper ones that you can use as artwork. So inspiring. You can pair this up with all your markers and your different color pens. And this seems to be a trend that a lot of people love this one, that a lot of people are picking up on, because when I went hunting for the ones I was missing, I initially fell in love with that other one I just showed you at a Barnes& and Noble. And I took it home with me and I started researching and I started to see if I could order them. And I went to Barnes& and Noble on their app and they were not available to order. They were out of stock online. However, when I searched to see if my local Barnes& and Noble stores had them, I saw that they carried them in stock. So you might not be able to order these online, but you can definitely find them in your local Barnes& and Noble stores, or maybe crafting stores are carrying them too. I'm not really sure. I did do some preliminary online investigating to see where I can order them from, and it was not super accessible for online purchasing, but I just ran to my Barnes& and Noble and they had a lot of them. And in addition, I did find other brands that were also creating similar books to these, and I do talk about that in my vlog. I did vlog me going and trying to find these, and I do show them in a little clip there. I just thought that the quality of those other books was not as good as these. These are very good quality. Like, it feels very good quality. Everything is very thick, and you know, the others felt like the paper was a little cheaper, a little thinner, which is why I didn't really buy any of that other brand. I believe they were called Flow, and I saw two different ones. I enjoyed their designs. I thought they were pretty, but the quality itself of the book was not as good, I think, as these. So this was basically the vintage floral paper love. So nice. And the last paper love one that I have that I'm going to flip through very quickly is the Enchanted Forest. This is one of those that I really wanted to find. I specifically was trying to see where can I get this, because I love this. Feels very cozy to me, like this aesthetic with the animals and the woods is very autumn feeling for me, and I really really enjoy like these prints, these um textures. Like, it feels very like textured, so I knew I wanted to find this one of these woodland creatures. And look how beautiful when they're changing their different color palettes. So much that you can do, and these are good for obviously animal lovers, but also if you like a cozier aesthetic. They did have quite a few other ones that I did not purchase, and I talk about this in my vlog, but I'll mention it here as well. They had an ocean themed one, so if you like beachy vibes and a lot of like shell and water, they did have one of those. They also had an Americana one that has a lot of like American flag and red, white, and blue themed. They had one of those as well. In addition, they also had a retro one. They had a retro themed one. And I initially thought I would want that one because, again, retro is so many things, right? What is retro? So when I initially saw that it was retro, I was secretly hoping that it was, this is beautiful, guys. Look at this. This is everything. So I was initially hoping that the retro meant it was like an 80s vibe because I love the 80s. So I was hoping that everything would be 80s. It was it was more of a mix of retro decades, but there was not very many 80s things. It honestly felt very like maybe 50s retro, like that kind of retro. And that's not super my vibe. Again, I would have purchased all of them if they were cheaper and if space were not an issue, but they're pretty bulky and I was already buying my favorite ones. But if you are a collectionist and you want to get them all, they're all beautiful. They really are. But I picked my favorites. And maybe a couple of them I'll ask for on my Santa list for Christmas this year. But they do have quite a variety. They also had a Christmas one. The paper collection has a Christmas one, which was really nice. I was very tempted. Look how pretty this is, guys. I was really tempted to get one of those, but I did not. But the Christmas one is one that I might go back for because I might want to use that during Christmas time in some of my projects. I love this watercolor feel. So basically these have the same format. It just varies with the theme, but it has a very, very similar format. How cute are these? I love that these are matte, very, very matte. It goes with this aesthetic very well. This is beautiful. Feathers are so pretty. Oh, look how lovely that is. And this is just beautiful to write a letter to a friend. If you do that, I personally love pen paling. My pen paling and writing letters has taken a backseat to everything else that I've been working on recently, but I do want to get back to it. So if you're interested in becoming pen pals, let me know in the comments down below. I am always looking for a new pen pal to write to. So those were basically the three paper love ones. Now I'm going to show you the paper ones, and I'm going to go a little bit into detail. However, this is what I wanted to show you, that some are thicker than others. So this has 180 pages, and then this one has 154. So these are not all the same size. I feel like the other brand, they're all the same size, but these are not. So initially, when I saw these, I thought that it was, I had seen it like this, right? Like online. So I thought that it was only cardstock and paper. I didn't know that it had goodies like the other one as well. So I'm very happy that it does have other things. Look how beautiful this is. Here has like a little jacket feel to it. It has a wonderful quote here. And again, you can use these for whatever you'd like. The paper is just as nice as the other one. It's very thick for being like just a regular sheet of paper. We have here, this is stunning, by the way. I love these. This is probably my favorite color palette. Like, I love this purple and this kind of tealish, bluish, and this pinkish. These are like my favorite colors altogether. This is stunning. So we have these are postcards. Okay, so it feels very similar. That's why I wasn't sure if it's the same company putting these out or not. I have to do some more research, but they feel very similar. So these are our little postcards for your pen pals and your friends. And then this, I'm not really sure what these are, actually. So these are perforated and they bend. So I think these are just little cards, maybe little gift cards, but they're so pretty. So again, so this is more wrapping paper. So they also include wrapping paper, and it's so beautiful, guys. Look at this wrapping paper. Like, tell me this is not like any other. I feel like this is like specialty wrapping paper that you can buy only like at Anthropologie or something. Like, isn't that's the vibe that these books give me? I think that's the best comparison that I have for you. If you know Anthropology, you know what I'm talking about. But this has like a vibe of Anthropology quality. Like when you walk into Anthropology and you look at their books and their like stationery kits and their candles and all their stuff, this would be something that they have in Anthropology. As a matter of fact, maybe Anthropology has these. So check out your nearest Anthropology store to see if they have it. Oh, this is stunning. So again, they feel very similar. You know what I mean? Like I think it might be the same company, or if not, they're doing very similar things because of the layout of this. So we have same letter, paper, printer paper, make your own envelope, seals or stickers. I love these. So the same again, these little labels. Look at this. Look at this page. Wow. This is stunning. This is why I couldn't decide. I was going to take one of the florals, either this one or the other one, but I could not decide because I thought they were both beautiful. And again, I'm not a floral person, but I fell in love with this beautiful, beautiful look. Again, the same thing. Create your own wall art. And you know what I love, guys? This has like perforation, 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 perforation. So you can use this big one and just perforate the frame out. Just perforate this frame out. Just use this center part or put them all together. I love that. I think that's stunning. Look at this. How beautiful these are. Then, guys, this includes some stuff that we don't find in the other one. So let me see if I can pull this out. Uh, so this is what I wanted to show you. So I'm actually gonna see. This was the glue dot. This is the glue dot that was holding this in place here. But you can remove these and then you can start actually using these if you wanted to for what they're intended for. So let's look at this one. And I love that it has this beautiful little thing here. I think I need my finger back. So I have this glue dot. And you remove the glue dot and there's no remnant of it. There's no sticky stuff or any like residue. And then look at this. It brings in a list journal. And then this is for people who love making lists, right? And this is a list of the most beautiful poems, the lyrics of songs that move me, who I wanted to become when I grew up. So this is exquisite. Like, you know, these little journals can run you $12, $13, right? If you're just going to buy them somewhere. So this comes included in here already. And guys, let's say you don't journal. You're like, okay, well, why do I want that? I don't journal. Well, the back part of each of these lists is just a beautiful sheet. So you can, again, use this. You can't see through it. You could just use this in your reading journal as some beautiful decoration. So there's no wasted anything, which is what I love. But I personally love that it's a little journal and I plan on using it. So stunning. I'm going to leave it now in here for the sake of maintaining the book as it came, but I will be taking these things out and using them because that's what we want, right? We want to use our things. So let me put this glue dot back here for a little bit till I'm ready to dismantle my whole little book. All right, so then here we have another one. Let's see if I can pry it open. And this, guys, look at the front of this journal. And then look at the back. Wow. Wow. And this one is for note taking. So this one does not have any of the prompts. It's just for you to take notes. And I love the variety. Some have lines, some don't. According to your needs, whatever you need. It has a to-do list back there. So just the sheer variety. And these make great gifts, guys. Like if you have this beautiful candle you bought for a friend and a book, but you want to add like a little something and you're like, oh, I don't know what I should add. How beautiful for you to gift them this little notebook. And it's just an extra little gift piece or whatnot. So, so many uses for these books. So here we have more of these beautiful pages. Love the colors. Here we have some bookmarks, and these are very, very matte. So again, you can use them on this side or this side. You know, they have two different like things going for them. They don't have a perforation for a hole, but you can totally perforate that with a hole punch and use it for that. The little tags do have little perforations for you to tag them. These are really pretty too. I'm not really sure what this is. They do have little perforation lines here and here and here. So I'm not sure if you make them like this. It does show you little scissors saying to cut like this. So maybe you can make little tabs out of them. Again, versatility. So much versatility. Absolutely love this. Wow, look how beautiful these are. And even this, I love how we have the individual little seals, but the beauty of that page in the back that is, you know, still there. And we can just cut this out and glue it or paste it in our thing because it's like this beautiful shiny paper. So nothing goes to waste. Even if you don't want seals and you just want this beautiful paper, you can use that as well. I'm so obsessed with these guys. These, I knew I wanted to do an isolated video just showing these to you because I don't think I've ever encountered like books like these that have so many purposes. I've had a lot of sticker books. I've had a lot of different kinds of books and such that are creative or scrapbooky, but never I've of course purchased like the books from Michael's that have cardstock and you rip them. I love those things, they're wonderful. But it's like a book for cardstock, or you have a sticker book, or you have, and I feel like this gives you everything. So with one book, if you can only afford one, you buy one and you have so many things that you can use. So these are more of these wrapping paper slash posters. These are more stickers. These colors again are so beautiful. Look at this, how beautiful. More of the bookmarks. And you can laminate these too if you don't like the matte look. I think the matte look looks very well with this aesthetic. But if you like something glossier, you want to protect it a bit, you can always laminate them if you have a laminating machine. Here we have like again these little like strips and they're perforated. So you could use them for a bunch of stuff. Love this. And now we move on to some alphabet pages or some letters we can cut out. We also have numbers. Look at this. Look at that beautiful artwork. Here we have more washi tape. And again, this isn't like not washi material, but more like sticker material. Love the shape of these stickers. So these are like with rounded, with kind of squared off corners. More of these little tabs. More of these little tab label things. Look how cute this is, dear, and it's like a little note or a little note card. And sometimes you're gifting something to someone and you don't necessarily want to buy like a full card, you know, at Hallmark or something, but and it's getting harder and harder to find those anyway. I mean, we have one Hallmark in my entire area. I don't know about you guys, but let's say you don't want to buy a greeting card necessarily, but you still want a little dear whatever. Hope you like your gift. These are perfect for that. Okay, and then these are mostly papers that we have. How beautiful is that? You can use these. Let's say you want to cover up that front part of your binder. You have binders that are sticker binders or whatnot, and they have and your sticker binders have a clear plastic in the front. You can always use this for the sticker binder. And look at these little notes just to say hi, wishing you. And again, some more quotes. So, so beautiful. So this was the Floral Riot collection. And then lastly, we have here the second paper. And this one is thinner. And this one is the Witchcraft collection. And I love their play here with the Witchcraft collection. And of course, this is going to be way darker, way spookier. This one and the Enchanted Forest were the two that I went into Barnes & Noble searching for. Those were the ones I really wanted. But I got all the other ones because I fell in love. Now, I do want to show you how beautiful this is. We have a Shakespearean quote here from Macbeth: "By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes." I love that. Like, these little things make me happy. Like, I'm opening the scrapbooking book and it has a Shakespeare quote. And then here we have a Ray Bradbury quote and some inspiring things. Like, it's just so well put together. And look at this, guys. I put a spell on you. How beautiful is that? So this is going to include a lot of your Halloween looks, but it has different aesthetics, which I love, because you don't always want like your cutesy Halloween or your orangey Halloween. You want to vary that up, right? And we see a variety of that here. So I really, really liked this. These are little postcards. You can send all your friends a little postcard for Halloween and let them know you're thinking of them. We have some beautiful here little tabs, some more letter writing. Look how stunning this looks. So if you like your Halloweeny vibes, this is beautiful. You can definitely plan on getting this one. I wish this were a thicker one because I love these so much. I can see myself using all of these. I love this vintage look too. This is beautiful. Look at this. Reminds me of some book covers that have been coming out lately that have a lot of those eyes. These labels are so pretty. I do think one of my things fell off of here. Let me see. I think I put it here. Yeah. So when I was grabbing these, I know this one had fallen out of here, but again, this is one of these notebooks. So let's check it out. I'm already loving the woods look. And if you like the smell of paper, these smell heavenly, guys. Okay. So here we have a little notebook. And a lot of the art is repeated, but it's miniature form. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at this. How fun. Oh my goodness, look at that. These are so beautiful. And it just feels like an extra bonus thing. Like, how lovely that I got a little notebook included with this whole thing. Like, they didn't have to do that, you know, like, and especially considering that these are pretty pricey. These little notebooks are pretty expensive. I know because I love them and I'm always buying them when I see them. So we continue with these posters. These can all be seen as like posters. This is just stunning. I love this. I could totally see myself using some of these in my classroom, framing them and putting them up in my classroom. Or when we're doing like certain units, when I'm teaching Macbeth, I can totally see myself having my students use some of these with their projects. This is beautiful. And lots of variety for whatever style you prefer. These are so cute. These little invitations, like if you're going to have a Halloween party and you like give people this as their little invitations to your party. Super cute. So here we have some more coloring pages. And I think it's good enough. You know, you have like 4 coloring pages. That's good enough. Like sometimes you want to do a little bit of coloring, but you maybe don't want to buy an entire coloring book for whatever theme you are planning on. So this gives that to you. It gives you a couple pages. And they're perforated so you can remove it. Love this, by the way, and love this. I love the whole book, but whenever I see something stunning like that, I have to stop and tell you more. This is very Edgar Allan Poe looking. Love the letters, and you can just cut them out. More of the washi strips. More of these stickers, seals, the labels. And we have some wrapping paper. How cool is that? That can double up as posters as well. And then here we have some of these little cards. And then our last set of papers. I also love that everything can be found in one book. So let's say you're traveling, you're going somewhere, and you want to do a little bit of journaling, but you don't want to take your entire collection of everything. How cool is that? You can just say, okay, well, I'm going to go with this little book and my journal, and I'll have everything that I need. If I need a little piece of washi, it's there. If I need a sticker, it's there. If I need some ephemera looking paper, it's there. So it also is really good if you like to plan on the go. So guys, let me grab all my books again and show you everything. And tell me, are you as obsessed with these as I am? Which ones did you like more? Do you like the paper ones more than the paper love ones? Do you think you want to get some of these? Like, what are you thinking? Like, are you as obsessed with them as I am? Do any of you have them? And have you seen more similar types of books out there in your bookstores in your areas? I would love to know. Not because I need any more, but because I'm just kind of addicted to them right now. And this was so much fun, and it's been so much fun using them in my reading journal. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you guys so much for watching and for being here. I hope you found this review of these books useful, or at least you found some entertainment watching me flip through them and show you some of my favorite pages. If you are new to my channel, thank you for finding my channel and thank you for being here. Please consider liking this video and subscribing if you haven't done so already. I would love to have you be a part of my small little corner of the internet where I talk about reading, I talk about journaling, and just have a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to catching you in my next video. Bye.